Sneakers screech across the gym floor as Coach Rashad Ellis calls out the next drill, his voice steady and measured. The players hustle, sweat beading on their brows, but Rashad's focus is split. On the bleachers, Linda Whitaker sits with her, arms folded, her gaze never leaving the court. She leans toward a father beside her, her words low and sharp. He's changing everything, and not everyone's happy. The father nods, tapping his foot, his eyes darting between Rashad and his own son. Rashad notices the exchange, jaw tightening for a moment before he turns his attention back to the team. He corrects a player's stance, his tone encouraging but firm. The assistant coach, clipboard in hand, scribbles notes, her eyes flicking nervously between Rashad and the parents. Linda's son misses a pass, the ball bouncing off his fingertips. Linda sighs, loud enough for those around her to hear, her disappointment hanging in the air. Practice winds down. Rashad gathers the team, offering a few quiet words about effort and unity. The players nod, some glancing toward the stands where their parents wait. Linda snaps a photo of the team huddle, her phone screen glowing. The assistant coach lingers, biting her lip before joining the parents as they collect their kids. As the gym empties, Rashad picks up his playbook from the bench, his fingers brushing over the worn cover. He glances at the trophy case, its shelves mostly empty, the glass reflecting both his face and Linda's watchful eyes. The tension is unspoken but unmistakable. Rashad heads for the exit, the echo of squeaking shoes and whispered doubts following him out the door. In the hallway, he pauses, taking a breath, knowing that the real challenge is only just beginning. Before the story continues, please let us know from where you are watching this video. Write your city or country in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like if you believe in stories that challenge injustice. Your engagement gives power to voices that need to be heard. Practice is over, but Rashad doesn't leave right away. He stands at the edge of the gym, eyes drawn to the trophy case near the far wall. The glass is clean, but inside only a few faded plaques and tarnished medals remain. Most of the shelves are empty, collecting dust. Linda lingers on the bleachers, her gaze fixed on the same case. She doesn't say a word, but her presence is heavy, her expectations even heavier. Rashad walks over, stopping in front of the case. He studies the old championship banner hanging above, its colors faded, the fabric sagging. A few parents from previous seasons pass by, slowing their steps as they glance at the case, then at Rashad, then at Linda. Their children tug at their hands, eager to leave, but the adults hesitate, sharing uncertain looks. One father mutters, "We used to fill that shelf every season," his voice low but meant to be heard. Rashad lets his hand rest on the cool glass, remembering his own days. As a player, when every victory felt like a promise of something better, now the weight of old expectations presses down on him, heavier than any set in the weight room. Linda stands, gathering her things, and moves a little closer, her eyes flicking between Rashad and the empty shelf. She doesn't speak, but her meaning is clear. As Rashad turns to leave, the trophy case reflects his figure, a silent reminder of what he's fighting for. The gym lights flicker, and for a moment, the only thing shining is the hope that one day, something new will fill that space. If he's given the chance to stay. The gym has mostly cleared, but a few parents linger by the exit, their voices low and careful. Linda approaches the assistant coach, her steps deliberate. She leans in, her tone sharp but hushed. Is he really the right fit for these kids? The assistant hesitates, glancing at Rashad across the court, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. She shifts her weight, clutching her notepad a little tighter, and gives a non-committal shrug. Rashad, gathering stray basketballs, catches the exchange. He doesn't react, face unreadable, but his shoulders stiffen for a moment before he straightens. The assistant coach looks away, her cheeks coloring as she scribbles something in her notes, avoiding Rashad's gaze. A group of parents stands nearby, their conversation a mix of concern and complaint. "He's not like Coach Davis," one mother says, her voice barely above a whisper. Another father nods. "Everything feels different now." Their words hang in the air, Not meant for Rashad, but loud enough to reach him. Rashad walks past them, pausing just long enough to offer a polite nod. No one meets his eyes. The assistant coach fumbles with her bag, dropping her pen. Rashad bends to pick it up, handing it back with a quiet, "Here." She thanks him, her voice small, unable to meet his gaze. As Rashad heads toward the exit, the parents fall silent, their doubts unspoken, but heavy. He pushes open the door, the cool air hitting his face, and pauses for a moment. The whispers and sideways glances follow him out, but he keeps his head high, refusing to let their uncertainty shake his resolve. The gym behind him is empty, but the real test is just beginning. As Rashad steps into the hallway, the gym's fluorescent lights humming behind him, Linda intercepts him near the exit. She blocks his path with a practiced smile, her purse clutched tightly in her hand. "Coach, can I have a word?" Her voice is polite, but the edge is unmistakable. Rashad nods, keeping his expression neutral. She glances around to make sure no one else is listening. "We just want what's best for our kids," she says, each word measured. Maybe someone who understands them better, someone who knows the way things have always been done here. Her gaze is steady, challenging, but there's a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. Rashad meets her stare, refusing to look away. He doesn't rush to answer, letting the pause stretch between them. Linda shifts her weight, her confidence wavering for a moment. "It's not personal," she adds quickly, but the words sound hollow, even to her. A couple of parents linger by the door, pretending to check their phones but listening closely. The assistant coach hesitates nearby, her hand frozen on the doorknob, unsure whether to leave or stay. Rashad finally speaks, his tone calm but firm. "I'm here to help these kids grow. That's always been my priority." Linda's jaw tightens. "I just hope you're the right fit." She waits for him to defend himself, but Rashad doesn't take the bait. He simply nods, his silence saying more than any argument could. As Linda turns away, her shoulders tense, the assistant coach slips out quietly, giving Rashad a small, supportive nod. The other parents disperse, their whispers trailing behind them. Rashad stands alone in the hallway, the weight of Linda's words lingering. He exhales slowly, knowing this confrontation is only the beginning of a much larger battle. Rashad walks toward the locker room, a gym bag slung over his shoulder, the echo of Linda's words following him down the empty corridor. He stops by the bench to gather his things. His phone vibrates in his pocket, the sharp buzz cutting through the quiet. He checks the screen. A new email, subject line bold. "Request for meeting. Parent concerns." The sender is the principal. Rashad's jaw tightens, thumb hovering over the message. He hasn't opened it yet. He glances around. The hallway is deserted except for a janitor mopping near the doors, earbuds in, nodding along to a tune Rashad can't hear. The assistant coach passes by, offering a hesitant wave, her eyes searching his face for reassurance. Rashad forces a small smile, but his mind is racing. He sits on the bench, staring at the unopened email. The overhead lights flicker, casting long shadows on the floor. He thinks of the team, how hard they've worked, how much they trust him. He thinks of the parents, the looks, the whispers, the questions that never seem to end. He wonders what will be waiting for him in that meeting. Another round of doubts, another test of his patience, another demand for him to prove he belongs. The janitor pauses, glancing at Rashad with a sympathetic nod. "Rough night, coach?" Rashad nods, not trusting himself to speak. The janitor moves on, leaving the scent of cleaning fluid and quiet support behind. Rashad finally opens the email, reading the words without flinching. He exhales, steadying himself. The gym is empty now, but the tension lingers, thick as a brewing storm. He stands, tucking his phone away, and heads for the exit, ready to face whatever comes next, even if he has to stand alone. The next morning, Rashad arrives early, the school still quiet. He unlocks the athletic office, the familiar creak of the door echoing in the empty hallway. He sets his bag down and notices a stack of old files on the corner desk, left out from last night's search for team records. He flips through them, looking for rosters, but finds a folder marked Personnel, Past Coaches. The tab is frayed, the label faded. He opens it, curiosity turning to unease. Inside are resignation letters from black coaches who came before him. Each letter cites cultural misunderstandings, lack of support, or unresolved tensions. Some have sticky notes attached with dismissive comments in looping handwriting. Didn't fit in. Too ambitious. Not. A team player. Rashad reads each one, his chest tightening with every page. Footsteps approach. The athletic director pokes his head in, offering a stiff nod. You settling in okay? Rashad closes the folder, masking his reaction. Yeah, just catching up on some history. The director doesn't linger, already distracted by his phone, and disappears down the hall. Rashad sits at the desk, the folder heavy in his lap. He thinks about the faces behind those names, the patterns repeating year after year. He wonders if anyone ever listened, if any of those men got a fair chance. He slides the folder back into the drawer, careful to leave everything as he found it. The bell rings, signaling the start of the day. Rashad stands, straightening his jacket. He glances once more at the drawer, a quiet resolve building in his chest. He knows now that his fight isn't just for himself or his team. It's for every name in that folder, and everyone that might follow. After a long day of classes and drills, Rashad heads to the locker room, hoping for a moment of quiet. The room is mostly empty, the sound of running showers echoing off the tiled walls. He sits on the bench, untying his shoes, when the assistant coach enters, glancing around before taking a seat nearby. She fidgets with her lanyard, eyes darting to the door. She leans in, voice barely above a whisper. You might want to be careful, Coach. People talk. Rashad looks at her, searching for more, but she avoids his gaze, her fingers twisting the lanyard tighter. It's not just the parents. Some folks upstairs, they don't like change. He nods, understanding the warning behind her words. I'm just trying to do my job, he says quietly. The assistant hesitates, then slides a folded note across the bench. Found this in your mailbox. No name. Rashad unfolds it. The message is typed, short and blunt. They'll replace you if you push too hard. He reads it twice, the words sinking in. The assistant stands, brushing imaginary dust from her pants. I didn't see who left it. Just thought you should know. She offers a quick, nervous smile, then heads for the exit, her footsteps quick and uneven. Rashad sits for a moment, the note trembling in his hand. He glances at the lockers, each one a silent witness to countless seasons of hope and disappointment. He tucks the note into his pocket, jaw set. The warning is clear, but so is his resolve. He stands, gathering his things, and leaves the locker. Room behind, the message echoing in his mind as he steps back into the hallway's harsh fluorescent light. The local coffee shop hums with morning chatter, sunlight spilling across polished tables. Linda sits at a corner booth, surrounded by a small circle of parents. She stirs her latte, her spoon clinking against the cup, and leans in. He's dividing the team, she says, her tone clipped. My son says practice doesn't even feel the same. A father in a faded ball cap nods, glancing over his shoulder. It's all new drills, new attitude. He's not like the last coach. Another mother sips her tea, eyes darting toward the barista who's wiping down the counter nearby. I heard he's pushing too hard. The kids are exhausted. Linda lowers her voice further, the group drawing closer. I just want what's best for our kids. Maybe someone who understands them better. The others murmur their agreement, the conversation tightening, more secret than casual. At the counter, the barista pauses, listening. She hesitates, then erases Support Coach Rashad from the community chalkboard, her hand moving in slow, deliberate strokes. The words disappear, leaving a faint smudge behind. A parent at a nearby table catches the exchange, shifting uncomfortably in his seat. He looks at Linda's group. then at the erased message, but returns to his laptop without a word. The atmosphere in the shop is suddenly heavier, the easy morning mood replaced by quiet tension. Linda checks her phone, a new message lighting up the screen. "Let's talk after practice." She smiles, satisfied, and stands to leave. The others follow, their chairs scraping softly against the floor. The barista glances at Rashad's name, still faint on the board, then at the empty doorway, her lips pressed in a thin line. The coffee shop returns to its routine, but the undercurrent of division lingers, settling into the corners like dust. Nonruwi. Afternoon sun filters through the gym windows, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Rashad lingers by the trophy case after practice, his reflection merging with the dusty shelves inside. He studies the empty spaces, the few remaining trophies pushed to the back, their brass plates tarnished with age. Each gap feels like a question left unanswered. The custodian walks by, pausing with his mop. He glances at the case, then at Rashad, offering a small shrug. "They said wait till next year," he says, his voice tired but not unkind. Rashad nods, understanding the weight behind the words. Linda's footsteps echo down the hallway. She stops beside the case, her son's freshly numbered jersey slung over her arm. She doesn't speak, but her eyes move from Rashad to the empty shelf, then back again. The silence between them is thick, heavy with things neither is willing to say. A couple of players pass by, slowing as they notice the adults by the case. One whispers, "Coach, when are we getting a new trophy?" Rashad forces a smile. "When we earn it," he replies, his voice steady. Linda adjusts her grip on the jersey, her lips pressed together. "It's been a long time since this team brought something home," she says, not quite meeting Rashad's gaze. Her words linger, a reminder and a warning. The custodian resumes his work, the mop swishing across the floor. Rashad watches the movement, then looks back at the empty shelf. He places his hand on the glass, feeling the cool surface beneath his palm. The trophies inside seem smaller now, their glory faded. As Rashad turns away, the case reflects his silhouette, framed by empty shelves and unspoken expectations. The gym grows quiet, the promise of victory still just out of reach. Game night arrives, but the usual buzz is missing. Rows of bleachers stand mostly vacant, the cheers replaced by a hollow echo that bounces off the gym walls. Rashad stands courtside, clipboard in hand, scanning the empty seats. Only a handful of parents have shown up, their applause scattered and subdued. The players notice too, their eyes searching the stands for familiar faces that aren't there. A young player's sister tugs at her mother's sleeve, whispering, "Why's nobody here?" The mother forces a smile, brushing the girl's hair back. "Maybe everyone's busy tonight," she says, but her voice wavers. Rashad hears the exchange, his heart heavy, but he keeps his focus on the team. The assistant coach paces nervously, glancing at Rashad, then at the stands. "Should we wait?" she asks quietly. Rashad shakes his head. "We play for each other, not for the crowd." He gathers the team, his voice calm but determined. "Let's show up for ourselves tonight." On the far side of the gym, Linda sits with a small group of parents, their conversation hushed. She glances at Rashad, her expression unreadable, then looks away. The absence of so many is a message, loud in its quietness. The game begins. Every basket is met with polite claps, but the usual energy is missing. Players push through, their determination visible in every sprint and pass. Rashad calls out encouragement, his words echoing in the near-empty gym. After the final buzzer, the team gathers in a tight circle. Rashad thanks them for their effort, his voice steady. "Proud of you," he says, meeting each player's eyes. As the team heads to the locker room, Rashad lingers, looking out at the empty bleachers, the weight of the boycott settling in his chest. He knows this is about more than basketball. The morning after the game, Rashad finds a plain envelope tucked into his mailbox at school. No return address, just his name typed neatly on the front. He opens it at his desk. the room still quiet. Before the day begins, inside a single sheet of paper, Coach Ellis prioritizes politics over play. The team deserves better. The words are cold, the message unsigned. He reads it twice, jaw set, then folds the letter and slips it into his bag. The assistant coach walks in, pausing when she sees his expression. "Everything all right?" she asks, her voice tentative. Rashad forces a nod, not trusting himself to answer. She lingers, her eyes searching his face, but he turns to the window, ending the conversation. Later in the teacher's lounge, a group of staff chat over coffee. Their laughter fades as Rashad enters, replaced by awkward glances and a sudden interest in their phones. One teacher clears his throat, mumbling something about community standards. Rashad ignores it, focusing on the lesson plans in his hands. He tucks the letter under his playbook, the paper creasing further with every touch. The words replay in his mind, each line a reminder of the scrutiny he faces. He wonders who sent it. But the anonymity is part of the power, a threat that hides in plain sight. As the bell rings, Rashad straightens his tie and heads to class, the letter weighing heavy in his pocket. He knows it won't be the last message, like this. The real challenge isn't just on the court, it's in every hallway, every meeting, every quiet moment when doubt tries to take root. Rashad squares his shoulders, determined to keep moving forward, no matter who tries to push him. It's late afternoon when Rashad's phone buzzes on his desk. He answers, expecting a parent or a player, but a woman's voice comes through, brisk and practiced. "Coach Ellis, this is Sarah from the local paper. I wanted to ask about the recent concerns raised by parents. Do you have a comment?" Rashad pauses, weighing his words. "I'm here for the kids. That's my focus." He keeps his tone even, not giving her more than he has to. Sarah presses. "Some parents say your methods are divisive, that you're changing too much. Too fast. What do you say to that?" Before Rashad can answer, the assistant coach enters the office, catching the tail end of the conversation. She shakes her head slightly, mouthing, "Don't." Rashad nods, understanding. On the phone he says, "No comment at this time." Sarah sighs. "All right, coach. If you change your mind, you have my number." The call ends. Outside, the parking lot is busy. Linda stands by her car, chatting with another parent, her laughter carrying across the lot. She glances over, catching Rashad's eye, then turns away, her smile tight. The assistant coach joins Rashad at the window, watching the scene unfold. "She's enjoying this," the assistant says quietly. Rashad doesn't respond, but his jaw tightens. The scoreboard from last night's game is still visible through the glass, the numbers a reminder of the loss. The assistant coach places a reassuring hand on Rashad's shoulder. "You did your best. That's all anyone can ask." Rashad nods, grateful for the support, but knowing the story will spread. As the sun sets, he gathers his things, preparing for another day of questions and sideways glances. The real story, he knows, is still being written, and he's not done, fighting for his place in it. Game day arrives again, and the gym is tense. Rashad stands at the bench, scanning the players as they warm up. Jamal, the team's quiet forward, slips a black armband over his wrist. The gesture is small, but it doesn't go unnoticed. The principal, arms folded near the scorer's table, spots it and walks over. "Jamal, take that off. It's not part of the uniform." Jamal looks at Rashad, searching for support. Rashad meets his eyes, giving a subtle nod. Jamal hesitates, then quietly tucks the armband into his sock, defiance hidden but not erased. The principal lingers, waiting for Rashad to intervene, but Rashad simply adjusts his tie and calls the team in for a huddle. The assistant coach catches Jamal's eye, offering a quick thumbs up before turning her attention to the playbook. On the bleachers, a few parents exchange uneasy glances, whispering among themselves. Linda sits rigid, her lips pressed together, watching every move. During the game, Jamal plays with new fire, driving to the basket, grabbing rebounds, refusing to back down. After a tough play, He glances at Rashad, who gives him a small, approving nod. The team rallies behind Jamal, their energy shifting, the crowd sensing something different. At halftime, Rashad pulls Jamal aside. "You stood up for what you believe in. That matters." Jamal nods, his voice low. "Just wanted you to know I've got your back, Coach." Rashad smiles, pride flickering in his eyes. The principal watches from across the court, frowning, but saying nothing more. As the second half begins, the armband remains hidden, but its message lingers. Rashad feels a surge of hope, knowing that even in small acts, solidarity can't be silenced. The team returns to the court, united by more than just the game. The gym is quiet after practice, just the sound of sneakers squeaking as a lone visitor steps onto the court. Rashad looks up, surprised to see Marcus, a former quarterback whose college dreams were derailed years ago. Marcus grins, tossing a basketball between his hands. "Thought I'd see how the new era's treating you, Coach." Rashad smiles, but there's a heaviness behind it. "You picked a good day. Teams got hard even if the stands are half empty." Marcus nods, his eyes drifting to the faded banners overhead. "Some things don't change, huh?" They shoot around, the ball thudding against the backboard, echoing in the empty gym. Marcus leans against the wall, wiping sweat from his brow. "You know, I still remember those meetings. Parents saying I was too flashy, not a good fit for the school's image. They called it tradition." Rashad bounces the ball, his voice quiet. "Same words, different faces." Marcus laughs, but it's hollow. "Have you ever thought about walking away?" Rashad shakes his head. "Every week. But then I see these kids. I can't." The assistant coach passes through, offering Marcus a warm handshake. "Heard a lot about you," she says, genuine. Marcus grins. "All lies, I hope." She chuckles, then heads out, leaving the two men alone again. Marcus glances at the trophy case, his old varsity jacket faded but still proud. "You keep fighting, Coach. Maybe one day they'll listen." Rashad nods, the words settling deep. "Maybe one day." Marcus heads for the door, pausing to look back. "Don't let them write your story for you." Rashad watches him leave, the gym feeling both emptier and fuller at the same time. The echo of Marcus's footsteps lingers, a reminder that the struggle didn't start with him and it won't end here. The boardroom is stuffy, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Rashad sits at the end of a long table, hands folded, eyes steady. Across from him, the school board members shuffle papers, avoiding his gaze. The principal clears his throat, reading from a prepared statement. "We're here to discuss Coach Ellis's future with the program." A white-haired board member glances at Rashad, then at the others. "We've had complaints. Some parents feel the team is losing its way." Another board member, the only black woman at the table, speaks up. "He's changed the culture for the better. The kids respect him. That matters." The room grows tense. The athletic director taps his pen, voice tight. "This isn't personal. We just want what's best for the school." Rashad says nothing, letting the silence stretch. The principal calls for a vote. One by one, hands go up. The black board member votes to keep Rashad. Two others vote no. The tie hangs in the air. Finally, the chairperson sighs, rubbing his temples. "I'll break the tie." He hesitates, glancing at Rashad, then at the stack of complaint letters. Coach Ellis stays, for now. The decision lands with a dull thud, relief and resentment mingling in the room. Rashad nods, expression unchanged. The black board member offers a small, proud smile. The others avoid his eyes, gathering their things. As the meeting ends, the principal mutters, "Let's hope this settles things." Rashad stands, straightening his jacket. "For the kids, I hope so too." He leaves the boardroom, the polished table reflecting his image, cracks running through the veneer. The hallway outside is quiet, but the weight of the decision presses on his shoulders. Rashad knows this isn't victory. Just another round survived. The fight isn't over, but he's still standing. The next morning, Rashad's phone buzzes nonstop. Notifications stack up, texts, missed calls, and a flood of social media alerts. A parent has secretly filmed his halftime pep talk, posting the clip online. Rashad's words, "Play like you've got nothing to lose," are twisted in the caption. Coach Ellis pushes division, not teamwork. Comments pour in. Some defend him, others attack. "He's inspiring," one post reads. Another snaps back, "He's tearing the team apart." Rashad scrolls through the feed, jaw clenched. The assistant coach rushes into his office, phone in hand. "It's everywhere, coach. Even the district's talking about it." He sighs, rubbing his forehead. "Let them talk. We have practice." The assistant hesitates, her voice shaky. "Some parents are saying they want you gone by next week." Rashad nods, not surprised. "I'm not here for them. I'm here for the kids." At practice, the energy is different. A few players glance at their phones, whispering. Jamal catches Rashad's eye, lifting his chin in silent support. Linda stands by the gym door, her arms folded, watching every move. The principal calls Rashad aside, voice low. "We're getting pressure from the board. Just be careful." Rashad meets his gaze. Steady. "I always am." The principal nods, but worry creases his brow. As practice ends, Rashad addresses the team. "Block out the noise. Focus on each other. That's what matters." He leaves the gym, the hum of his phone echoing in his pocket. Outside, the sky is overcast, the air thick with uncertainty. Rashad knows the video will fade, but the damage lingers. Still, he walks to his car with his head high. The fight is public now, but so is the support, and he's not backing down. Practice ends, and the gym empties out. Rashad sits on the bench, lacing up his shoes, when one of the younger players approaches, phone in hand. The boy hesitates, thumb hovering over the screen. "Coach, can I ask you something?" Rashad nods, setting his shoes aside. The boy shows him the phone, comments from the viral video scrolling by. Words like troublemaker and doesn't belong flash across the screen. His voice is small, uncertain. "Why do they hate you? You just want us to win." Rashad takes a breath, choosing his words carefully. Sometimes people are scared of what they don't understand. They see something different and it makes them uneasy. The boy frowns, looking down. "But you're the best coach I've had." Rashad smiles, placing a reassuring hand on the boy's shoulder. "Thank you. That means a lot. But remember, what matters is how we treat each other, not what people say online." The boy nods, stuffing his phone in his pocket. The assistant coach walks by, offering a supportive pat on Rashad's back. "You handled that well," she says softly. Rashad shrugs, his expression tired but resolute. "It's not the first time. Won't be the last." As the boy leaves, he glances back, determination in his eyes. Rashad watches him go, pride and sadness mingling in his chest. The gym is quiet now, just the distant sound of bouncing balls from another court. Rashad gathers his things, the boy's question echoing in his mind. He steps into the hallway, the weight of the day pressing down, but also a flicker of hope. If even one kid understands, maybe that's enough to keep going. Rashad heads out, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Game night returns with a different energy. The bleachers are packed, the buzz louder than ever. Rashad stands by the bench, scanning the crowd. Parents fill every seat, some faces eager, others hard to read. Linda sits front and center, arms crossed, her gaze locked on Rashad. Players gather for warm-ups, their movements tight, nerves visible in every pass. The announcer's voice booms, but Rashad barely hears it. He calls the team in, voice low. "Remember, play for each other. Nothing else matters tonight." The players nod, but their eyes flick to the stands, searching for approval or reassurance. The assistant coach hands Rashad the lineup, her hand trembling slightly. "They're watching everything," she whispers. Rashad nods, jaw set. As the game begins, every decision Rashad makes draws a reaction. A substitution earns a chorus of murmurs. A timeout brings a wave of whispers. Linda leans toward another parent, her voice sharp but controlled. He's already messing up. The father beside her shrugs, uncertainty flickering across his face. On the court, the players push through, their focus wavering under the weight of so many eyes. Rashad calls out encouragement, his tone steady. "Heads up! Trust each other!" The crowd's noise swells with every play, cheers and groans blending into a wall of sound. At halftime, Rashad gathers the team. "Block out the noise. Play. Your game." The players nod, determination returning to their faces. The assistant coach stands behind Rashad, her expression fierce, offering silent support. As the second half starts, Rashad glances at the bleachers. Linda's stare is unbroken, but a few parents clap for the team, their loyalty shifting. The game goes on, the tension thick, every moment charged. Rashad stands tall, refusing to shrink under the weight of judgment. The referee's whistle slices through the noise, signaling the start. Rashad grips the playbook, knuckles white as the team takes their positions. The crowd's energy crackles, every movement on the court watched and weighed. Linda leans forward, eyes narrowed, whispering to the parent beside her, "Let's see what he does now." The first few plays are rough, a missed pass, a fumbled rebound. Rashad calls out instructions, voice clear but not raised. "Reset, find your rhythm." The players glance at him, then at the stands, nerves showing in, their hurried movements. The assistant coach paces the sideline, biting her lip, glancing at Rashad for reassurance. A parent in the third row shakes his head, muttering, "He's in over his head." Another mother claps half-heartedly, her support wavering. On the bench, a substitute pulls at his jersey, eyes darting between the scoreboard and the coach. Rashad calls a quick timeout, gathering the team. He kneels, lowering his voice. "Forget the crowd. Play like you practiced. Trust your instincts." The players nod, breathing steadier now. As they break the huddle, the assistant coach squeezes Rashad's shoulder. "They're listening," she says, hope flickering in her voice. Back on the court, the team settles, their passes sharper, movement more confident. Linda watches, her expression unreadable, but her grip on her purse tightens. The crowd's murmurs shift, a few cheers. Breaking through the tension, Rashad stands at the edge of the court, calm on the surface, but his heart pounds. Every glance, every whisper, every decision feels like a test. He refuses to flinch. The game continues, the pressure mounting, but Rashad's resolve holds. Tonight, he's not just coaching a team. He's fighting for his place and for theirs. Midway through the second quarter, the other team surges ahead. Rashad signals for a timeout, his voice steady but urgent. The players jog to the bench, sweat on their brows, eyes darting to the scoreboard and then to the roaring stands. The noise is overwhelming, every word from the crowd a distraction. Rashad kneels in front of the huddle, lowering his voice so only the team can hear. "You're letting them get inside your heads. Block out the noise. Play like you've trained, not like they're watching." He looks each player in the eye, his calm cutting through the chaos. "Trust each other. Trust yourselves." The assistant coach stands behind him, arms crossed, her jaw set in determination. She whispers, "You've got them, coach." Rashad nods, grateful for her support but focused on the team. Jamal, usually quiet, clenches his fists and says, "We're not losing tonight." The others echo him, their confidence returning. Across the court, Linda snaps a photo of the huddle, texting furiously. The principal, seated nearby, watches her, his expression tight, regret flickering in his eyes. He turns away, realizing the tension he's helped create. Rashad stands, clapping his hands once. "Let's go, play your game." The players break, energy renewed, determination in their steps. As they return to the court, the crowd's noise fades into the background, replaced by the focus and unity Rashad has built all season. The assistant coach gives Rashad a quick nod. pride in her eyes. He exhales, feeling the shift. For the first time tonight, the team looks like themselves. Rashad stands tall at the sideline, knowing this moment. This choice to tune out the doubters might change everything. The game resumes, and something shifts. A bench warmer, Malik, gets his chance after a starter fouls out. Rashad calls his name, voice even. Malik's eyes widen, nerves and hope colliding. "You're ready," Rashad says quietly. Malik nods, stepping onto the court as the crowd buzzes with surprise. The first possession, Malik hesitates, but then finds an opening and sinks a three-pointer. The gym erupts, the sound swelling. Rashad doesn't cheer, he just gives a small, knowing nod. The assistant coach pumps her fist, pride flashing in her eyes. On the bench, teammates slap Malik's back, their energy contagious. Linda's son, previously withdrawn, high-fives Malik after a defensive stop. Linda's jaw tightens, her whispered warning, "Don't get too comfortable," ignored by her son, who's too busy celebrating with his team. The scoreboard inches closer, every point a quiet answer to the doubts that have echoed all season. A father in the stands leans forward, whispering, "Didn't expect that from the kid." Another parent, who once questioned Rashad's methods, starts clapping, his support growing with each play. Malik makes another big shot, and the team rallies around him. Rashad calls a play, his instructions clear. The assistant coach grins. "They're believing, coach." Rashad just nods, eyes never leaving the court. As the quarter ends, the team is back in the game. The crowd's mood has changed. Cheers now outweigh the murmurs. Linda sits back, arms crossed, her authority slipping as her son and his teammates embrace the moment. Rashad stands tall, calm amid the chaos, letting the players own their success. The gym feels different now, the weight of expectation replaced by hope and momentum. For the first time, the team looks unstoppable, and everyone knows who made it possible. The final quarter is tense, every possession contested. Linda leans forward, her voice sharp as she calls out, "Call a timeout!" Her son glances at her from the court, frustration flickering across his face. He ignores her, eyes locked on Rashad's signals instead. Linda's fingers tighten around, her phone knuckles white. She tries again, louder this time. "Listen to me!" Her son shakes his head, jaw set, and turns away. The parents nearby exchange glances, some uncomfortable, others relieved to see the shift. The assistant coach notices, whispering to Rashad, "He's choosing you over her." Rashad nods, keeping his focus on the game. Linda's phone buzzes, but when she tries to film, the screen goes dark battery dead. She curses under her breath, powerless to control the moment. The crowd's cheers swell, drowning out her complaints. Her influence, once so strong, now fades with every play. On the court, her son makes a key assist, and the team erupts in celebration. He runs to the bench, high-fiving teammates, not even glancing at his mother. Rashad offers a quiet, "Good job," and the boy beams, pride shining in his eyes. Linda slumps back in her seat, shoulders sagging. The parents who once joined her, in criticism, now clap for the team, their loyalty shifting. The assistant coach catches Linda's eye, offering a small, satisfied smile before turning back to the bench. As the clock winds down, Linda sits in stunned silence, her authority crumbling. The game isn't over, but her hold on the narrative is gone. Rashad stands tall, watching his team come together, knowing this moment means more than any score. Tonight, the power has changed hands. The clock ticks down, tension thick in the air. The score is tied, just seconds left. Rashad calls the final play, voice calm but urgent. "Trust each other. One shot." The players nod, determination etched on every face. The assistant coach grips her clipboard, knuckles pale. The ball is inbounded, moving quickly around the arc. Malik, the unlikely hero, finds himself open at the corner. He hesitates for a heartbeat, then launches the shot. The gym holds its breath, every eye tracking the ball's arc. The buzzer sounds as the ball sails through the air, a perfect swish. For a split second, there's silence. Then the gym erupts. Players rush the court, mobbing Malik, their cheers echoing off the walls. Rashad steps back, emotion flickering across his face but refusing to spill over. The assistant coach hugs a player, tears in her eyes. Linda sits, frozen, her critique lost in the roar. Her son sprints to his teammates, arms raised, not even glancing at her. The principal, standing near the scorer's table, scribbles something in his notebook, avoiding Rashad's gaze. Rashad watches the celebration, pride and relief mingling in his chest. He glances at the scoreboard, the numbers now a testament to what his team has become. The crowd's energy is electric, parents who doubted him now swept up in the moment. As the team gathers for a final huddle, Rashad joins them, his voice steady. "You earned this, every second." The players nod, grinning. The assistant coach squeezes Rashad's shoulder, her respect clear. Linda remains in her seat, shoulders slumped, the game's outcome undeniable. The gym is alive with joy, but Rashad stands quietly at the edge, knowing this victory is about more than a single shot. Tonight, everything changed. The gym is buzzing, the crowd still riding the high of victory. School staff set up a table at center court, the championship trophy gleaming under the bright lights. Rashad gathers the team, ushering them forward. The announcer taps the microphone, feedback crackling through the speakers. "Let's hear it for your champions." Applause fills the space, echoing off the rafters. Rashad stands to the side, letting the players soak in the moment. The assistant coach hands out medals, her smile wide, pride shining in her eyes. Malik clutches the trophy, teammates crowding around him, laughter and cheers mixing in the air. Linda lingers at the edge of the crowd, purse clutched tight, her son avoiding her outstretched hand as he accepts his medal. The principal steps up, microphone in hand. This win belongs to the players, but also to the coach who believed in them. He gestures to Rashad, inviting him forward. Rashad shakes, his head motioning for the team to stay in the spotlight. They did the work. "This is theirs," he says, voice carrying over the crowd. The announcer tries again, but Rashad remains at the edge, refusing the spotlight. The assistant coach catches his eye, nodding in approval. Parents snap photos, some clapping, others silent. The shift in respect unmistakable. Linda stands apart, her presence diminished, watching as her son and his teammates celebrate without her. The crowd's cheers are loud for the kids, softer for Rashad, but the respect in the players' eyes is clear. The trophy shines, a symbol of effort and unity. As the ceremony ends, Rashad quietly congratulates each player, his words sincere. The team lifts the trophy high, the gym filled with a sense of new possibility. Rashad stands back, content to let the kids own their glory. The gym has quieted, the crowd thinning as the ceremony winds down. Linda approaches Rashad cautiously, her voice barely above a whisper. "I just wanted to say—" Rashad raises a hand gently, stopping her before she can finish. His eyes are steady, calm, but firm. The kids did the work. That's what matters. Linda's words falter, her shoulders slump, the weight of unspoken regret settling over her. She nods, swallowing hard, the apology left hanging in the air like a fragile thread. Around them, parents snap photos, their cameras clicking softly, the silence louder than any cheer. Some faces show respect, others remain guarded, the shift in the room palpable. Rashad turns away, his back straight, dignity intact. The assistant coach offers him a small, supportive smile, her eyes shining with quiet pride. The team gathers nearby, laughter and chatter rising. The energy light and hopeful. The trophy gleams under the gym lights, a symbol of hard-fought victory and new beginnings. Linda watches from a distance, her expression unreadable, the hollow space where her confidence once lived, now filled with the sound of celebration. The gym doors open, a breeze stirring the banners overhead. Rashad steps forward, ready to lead, the past fading behind him. The moment is quiet but powerful, a testament to resilience, respect, and the unspoken truths that shape change. Maintenance. Workers roll out a ladder as the gym empties, the last echoes of celebration fading. Rashad stands near the exit, watching as the old, faded banner is carefully unhooked from the rafters. The fabric sags, colors washed out by years of sunlight and memory. Linda lingers by the doorway, arms crossed, her eyes fixed on the scene. The new championship banner is unfurled, bold letters gleaming with the team's name and the year. The workers secure it in place, the fabric catching the light. Parents and players gather below, some snapping photos, others just watching in quiet awe. Rashad's name is stitched at the bottom, a detail that draws a few murmurs from the crowd. Linda steps outside, her reflection fractured in the gym's glass doors. She glances down as the old banner is folded and placed at her feet. For a moment, she hesitates, reaching out as if to touch it, but then lets her hand fall. The weight of what's changed settles in her posture, her authority now part of the past. Inside, the assistant coach grins, nudging Rashad. "Looks good up there." Rashad nods, his gaze never leaving the new banner. "It's not just for me," he says quietly. "It's for all of them." The team gathers beneath the new banner, arms draped over each other's shoulders. Parents clap, some with genuine pride, others with quiet acceptance. The gym feels different now, the air lighter, the future more open. As Rashad leaves, the new banner sways gently, a silent promise that the story has changed for good. The old legacy is gone, replaced by one built on unity, effort, and earned respect. Outside, Linda stands alone, the folded banner in her hands, finally understanding what she lost. The locker room fills with laughter, voices bouncing off the tile walls. Players swap jerseys, slap backs, and replay the game's final moments. With wide grins, Rashad stands by the doorway, watching his team celebrate, the sound of their joy washing over him. The assistant coach tosses a towel to Jamal, who catches it mid-sentence and laughs even harder. A senior player grabs the trophy, holding it aloft as the team chants Rashad's name. He raises a hand, quieting them. "This is your win. You earned it." The room erupts again, pride and relief mixing in the air. Rashad steps aside, pausing by the trophy case outside the locker room. He studies his reflection in the glass, overlapping with faded photos of coaches who came before him. Some left quietly, their stories forgotten. Rashad places a hand on the case, feeling the cool surface, the moment sinking in. The assistant coach joins him, her voice soft. "They'll remember this, you know." Rashad nods, a small smile breaking through. "I hope so." The last of the players file out, high-fiving Rashad on their way. He lingers a moment longer, soaking in the echoes of laughter and the sense of something finally set right. The gym is quiet now, the weight of old doubts replaced by the lightness of earned respect. As Rashad heads for the exit, he glances back one last time. The new banner glows above the court, the trophy case finally holding something new. The door closes behind him, not with finality, but with the promise of a new beginning. The past is still there, but tonight, it no longer holds him back. The next game arrives, but the energy in the gym is different. The team warms up, laughter and confidence in their movements, but Linda sits alone at the far end of the bleachers. The spot where her friends once gathered is empty, their usual chatter replaced by a distant hum from the crowd. She scrolls through her phone, pausing on photos of the championship celebration, her son grinning, Rashad standing nearby, the trophy raised high. Parents who once nodded in agreement with her now avoid her gaze. Some offer polite smiles, quickly, turning away. Others sit in new clusters, their conversations lighter, their focus on the court. Linda shifts in her seat, folding her arms, the cheers around her no longer here to share. Her son glances up after a layup, catching her eye for a brief second before turning back to his teammates. The moment stings, a reminder of how much has changed. The assistant coach walks by, nodding to a group of parents, her respect in the community now clear. Linda's phone buzzes with a notification, but it's not the messages she used to receive. No more group chats, no more invitations to strategize. She scrolls through old texts, the silence in her inbox heavy, the photos from the championship replay on her screen, each image a reminder of the team's triumph without her influence. As the game progresses, Linda remains on her solitary bench, applause and laughter swirling around her. The isolation is sharp, but she says nothing, watching as the community she once led moves on without her. The gym feels bigger now, the distance between Linda and the rest of the crowd growing with every play. After the game, Linda sits in her car, the lot nearly empty. She unlocks her phone, scrolling through old messages and photos. Her finger hovers over a group chat she used to lead, now silent for weeks. She opens a picture from the championship night, her son grinning, arms around teammates, Rashad in the background, pride in his eyes. Linda zooms in, studying her son's smile, realizing how distant she's become from his happiness. She types out a message, "I'm proud of you," but hesitates, deleting it before sending. The silence in her inbox is heavy. No new invitations, no shared complaints, just a string of unanswered texts and fading connections. She scrolls further back, finding a video of her son's first game with Rashad as coach. His voice is excited. "Coach believes in me, Mom." She barely remembers that day, distracted by her own doubts. A notification pops up, another parent sharing a photo of the team's new banner. Linda's name isn't tagged. She watches as likes and comments roll in. Her own presence erased from the celebration. The cold glow of the screen reflects in her eyes, regret settling in. She tries to call her son, but it goes to voicemail. She leaves a message, voice trembling. "You played great tonight. I'm here if you want to talk." The words feel small, lost in the digital void. Linda sits in the quiet, scrolling through memories, each image a reminder of what she's lost. The warmth of the gym, the camaraderie, even the arguments, all gone. She locks her phone, staring at her reflection in the dark window, understanding that some distances can't be closed with a single message. Early morning sunlight spills into Rashad's office as he unlocks the door. The gym is silent, the echoes of last night's game still lingering in his mind. On his desk sits a sealed envelope, the district's letterhead printed at the top. He hesitates before opening it, heart pounding with uncertainty. Inside, a contract extension signed, stamped, and official. Alongside it, a handwritten note from the athletic director. "Thank you for showing these kids what real leadership looks like. We'd like you to mentor new coaches next season." Rashad sits back, absorbing the moment. The assistant coach pokes her head in, coffee in hand. She spots the letter, her eyes lighting up. "You earned that, Coach." They finally see it. Rashad smiles, small but genuine. "It's not just for me, it's for the team, for all of us." Word spreads quickly. Players drift in for early practice, one by one offering handshakes and high fives. Malik grins. "Told you they'd keep you, Coach." Jamal nods, determination in his voice. "We need you here." The assistant coach claps Rashad on the back, pride clear in her gesture. Outside the office, a few parents gather, some offering hesitant congratulations, others simply nodding in respect. The atmosphere is different now, lighter, more hopeful. The principal passes by, pausing at the door. "Glad you're staying, Ellis. The kids deserve it." Rashad meets his gaze, the tension of the past replaced by mutual understanding. As practice begins, Rashad tucks the contract into his bag. The weight on his shoulders eased just a little. He watches his team warm up, laughter and energy filling the gym. For the first time in a long while, the future feels open, the promise of new beginnings shining brighter than any trophy. The gym lobby is busier than usual, parents and staff gathering around a new bulletin board. At the center, a bold poster is freshly pinned. The district's new anti-bias policy, signed by every board member. Rashad stands at the edge of the crowd, reading the words quietly. The language is clear: fairness, inclusion, accountability. No more room for the old excuses. A teacher reads the policy aloud, voice steady. We commit to equity for every student and staff member. Some parents nod, a few wiping away tears. The assistant coach stands beside Rashad, her pride unmistakable. You started this, you know, she murmurs. Rashad shakes his head. We all did, took all of us speaking up. The principal approaches, extending a hand. Thank you for your patience, coach. This is overdue. Rashad accepts the handshake, the gesture firm and sincere. Around them, parents discuss what the policy means for their kids. One mother, who once doubted Rashad, now smiles and says, It's about time. A student snaps a photo of the poster, posting it to the team's group chat. Jamal grins. Guess we're making history, huh? The players gather, reading the policy together, their voices mixing with the adults. The atmosphere is hopeful, the old tension replaced by cautious optimism. As the crowd disperses, Rashad lingers, studying the poster one last time. The words are just paper, but the shift in the room is real. He knows change won't be instant, but it's finally visible, written, for everyone to see, impossible to ignore. Rashad heads back to the gym, ready to lead with a new sense of purpose, the promise of progress now part of the school's foundation. Practice is winding down when Rashad notices a young man waiting by the gym doors, hands tucked in his jacket, pockets. As the last players file out, the visitor steps forward, a shy smile on his face. Rashad recognizes him instantly. Marcus, a former player who left for college last year. Marcus looks older now, more confident, but his eyes still hold the same spark. Coach, got a minute? Marcus asks, voice a little uncertain. Rashad nods, motioning him over. They sit on the bleachers, the gym quiet except for the distant bounce of a stray ball. Marcus hesitates, then offers his hand. I just wanted to say thank you for believing in me when nobody else did. Rashad shakes his hand, warmth in his grip. You did the work, Marcus. I just tried to help you see it. Marcus laughs softly, glancing at the court. It made a difference. I almost quit freshman year, but I remembered what you always said. You belong here. Rashad smiles, pride flickering in his eyes. You always did. I'm glad you found your way. The assistant coach walks by, nodding at Marcus. Heard you're doing great things, she says, genuine. Marcus grins. Trying, coach, trying. She heads out, leaving the two to their free conversation. Marcus stands, slinging his backpack over his shoulder. Just wanted you to know, coach, what you do matters. Rashad nods, his voice quiet. Thank you, Marcus. Means more than you know. As Marcus leaves, Rashad sits for a moment longer, the gratitude settling in. The gym feels lighter, the echoes of old doubts replaced by something new. Rashad gathers his things, ready for the next practice, knowing that every small victory matters. The gym is packed, excitement buzzing in the air as families and students fill the stands. A new championship banner is draped in the center, hidden behind a curtain. Rashad stands off to the side, arms folded, watching his team gather under the spotlight. The principal steps up to the microphone, voice ringing out. Let's celebrate the team that brought pride back to our school. Parents clap, phones raised to capture the moment. The assistant coach gestures for the players to step forward, their faces glowing with anticipation. Jamal and Malik reach up, pulling the cord to reveal the banner. The fabric drops, unveiling, bold letters and the team's name, the year stitched in gold. The crowd erupts in cheers. Rashad stays at the edge, resisting the urge to join the center stage. He watches the players bask in the applause, teammates hugging, parents snapping. Photos. The assistant coach catches his eye, mouthing, "This is yours too." Rashad just smiles, shaking his head. "It's theirs. Let them have it." Linda sits in the stands, her expression unreadable as she watches her son embrace his teammates. The community's focus is on the kids, their joy infectious, their pride earned. For the first time, the applause is for their effort, their unity, not just the win. As the ceremony winds down, the players gather around Rashad, pulling him into the group for a photo. He stands among them, hands on their shoulders, but lets them take the spotlight. The new banner hangs above, a symbol of what they've built together. When the lights dim and the crowd disperses, Rashad lingers for a moment, looking up at the banner. He knows the real victory is what it represents. A team that found its voice, and a community learning to celebrate every member. The gym is empty now, the echoes of celebration fading into silence. Rashad sits alone on the bleachers, the weight of the season settling around him. He watches the faint glow of the scoreboard, numbers dimmed but still visible. His thoughts drift to the journey, the battles fought, the quiet victories, the moments when hope felt fragile. He whispers to himself, "Change doesn't roar, it whispers, then it grows." The words hang in the air, a mantra born from struggle and resilience. His fingers trace the worn wood beneath him, grounding him in the present while honoring the past. The assistant coach enters quietly, sitting beside him. She offers a small smile, understanding without words. Together, they watch the banners hanging high, the new one shining among the faded. It's a symbol not just of a championship, but of a community shifting, slowly but surely. Outside, the night breeze rustles through the open doors, carrying the distant sounds of life beyond the gym. Rashad breathes deeply, feeling the calm after the storm. The fight isn't over, but the path forward is clearer. He stands, stretching, and casts one last glance at the empty court. The silence is no longer heavy. It's filled with possibility. As he walks away, the gym lights flicker softly, a quiet promise that change, though gentle, is unstoppable. Morning light streams through the gym windows, casting long beams across the polished floor. Rashad stands at the doorway, watching as a new group of players gathers for tryouts. The team is more diverse than ever, kids of all backgrounds laughing, stretching, and sharing stories before the whistle blows. The assistant coach greets each newcomer by name, her tone warm and welcoming. Parents mingle in the stands, their conversations lighter, their glances toward Rashad, now filled with respect instead of suspicion. Linda sits quietly near the back, observing her son as he helps a younger player tie his shoes. She offers a small, genuine smile when Rashad meets her gaze, a silent acknowledgement of change. The principal stops by, clapping Rashad on the shoulder. "You've built something real here." Rashad nods, gratitude and pride mixing in his eyes. The old tension is gone, replaced by a sense of unity that feels both new and hard-won. During drills, the players encourage each other, their voices rising above the sound of bouncing balls. The new banner hangs overhead, a daily reminder of what's possible when a community chooses to listen and grow. The assistant coach snaps a photo, capturing the moment for the team's wall. As practice ends, parents and players gather at center court, sharing snacks and laughter. Rashad lingers, at the edge, content to watch the connections forming. The gym, once a place of division and doubt, now buzzes with hope and belonging. Rashad steps outside, the sun warm on his face. He knows the journey isn't finished, but the foundation is strong. The community has learned to listen, and in that, listening, found a future that belongs to everyone. Rashad smiles, ready for whatever comes next.